Right, so there is a brand new worst chef on TikTok, and if they're genuinely eating any of these meals, I don't think they're going to be around for much longer. Their name is Aunt Jackie, also known as Top Housewife. Apparently, she's a 48-year-old wife who cooks meals for her working husband. Now, because they're new, they haven't actually got that many videos, but they're already going insanely viral, and it is not hard to see why. The first video I saw was this abomination, making my blue-collar husband a cup of tea before his 14-hour shift. It gets a lot worse than this, but this rattled me right from the start. So first of all, they're boiling the water not in a kettle for some reason, adding the sugar, then adding the milk before the tea bag, which by the way is like sacrilegious. If you're from Britain and you do that, you should be ashamed. But if you're from anywhere else in the world, this is like spitting on the Queen's face and calling David Attenborough a nonce. Making my blue-collar husband a cup of type 2 diabetes before his 14-hour shift. I didn't actually clock how much sugar she put in. I was too annoyed at her putting the milk in before the tea bag, but that is 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons, and then I'm pretty sure she pours a box of it in later. She does. I mean, for anyone who doesn't drink tea, you have like 1 teaspoon, 2 max. That is insane. But surprisingly, it actually looks like quite a nice cup of tea, so not the end of the world. The real issue is the food. Their first pin video has 1.4 million views in only 3 days, and it is not hard to see why. First of all, economy 4 burgers out of a tin. Look at this. It's just disgusting to look at. Cooking burgers like that is weird, but cooking chips alongside it with the bread and all this salt, that's something you need to keep an eye on, by the way. Look at the amount of salt and pepper this lady adds to all of their food. If they don't die from some sort of weird food poisoning from the way that she cooks the meat, the high blood pressure is inevitably going to get them. I mean, blue collar, that means this poor guy is in manual labor. This guy's coming home from the mines and being met with this. The pickles as well, just to add insult to injury. The heart as well, as if this was made with love and not absolute hate. I love the people in the comments as well that get absolutely fuming. Lee Bacon, that looks absolutely rank. Tin burgers, really? I get the feeling this husband got caught having an affair and that is why she's serving him with this, because otherwise, I mean, a 9-hour shift. By the way, as well, with a lot of the things, you know, she'll call it like, oh, I'm making a burger or I'm making a carbonara, which we'll look at later. Absolutely vile. Some of them are so weird, such bizarre meals that she doesn't even label them. Raw egg and tuna. I actually haven't even seen this one. I have no idea what she's trying to cook up here. Oh, the sound. It's all just an absolute mess. And there we go with about 3 kilograms of salt and rice, some jalapenos, and she's serving it up. Chili flakes to top. I showed my cat this. It threw up on the floor looking at it, and the puddle on the floor was more appetizing than this slop. And what does one call this splendid dish? My absolute favorite, eggs and brine. Okay, thankfully it actually is in spring water. Otherwise, the amount of salt in this, I mean, not like it makes a massive amount of difference, but that would send them over the edge. Oh my goodness, I didn't even see this one. 4.7 million views. Making shepherd's pie for my blue-collar husband after his 15-hour shift. That is disgusting. How is that real? Minced beef and onion. Asda, come on, you're better than that, guys. She always talks about how her husband does really long shifts, and I just know he is sat there at work just doing anything he can to pick up extra time. This poor husband has to be literally the best employee ever, like gets called in for an afternoon shift and stays there all day, all night. I mean, can you imagine getting served this after a long day at work? Looks like sick, your cottage pie. Don't invite anyone round, you'll kill them with salt. Again, might be what she's trying to do to her husband. Shepherd's pie is lamb, you use minced beef, that's cottage pie. As if that's the only thing wrong with this. At least cooking with Kay, she actually uses proper mincemeat and not tinned. Oh, I mean, when people are in the comments saying Kay's cooking is better than yours, that's when you know something is seriously wrong. Just showed this to my fiance. He said if I cooked him this, then he would leave me and I wouldn't blame him. I'm sitting on the toilet and I could swear we've made the same thing. I mean, that is just the least appetizing thing I think I've ever seen come out of a can. Here's another one. More canned food from Asda. Another 15-hour shift from the husband. Meatballs, not great. Could be worse. The amount of oil as well. Brilliant. And that's the spaghetti, is it? The noodles. Does blue collar husband mean dog? No. I genuinely don't think I'd even feed this to my dog. Fantastic. Another fine meal whipped up on a frisbee for her poor depressed husband. I bet he's the one asking her to add all the extra salt because he just wants to hurry up and die already. My husband's breakfast after his 12-hour night shift. Okay, am I losing it or is that actually kind of appetizing? And there we go, she ruined it with about 3 kilograms of salt. Is that enough salt? He likes salt, actually. I've cut back on how much salt he used to have. What green herb is that? It was my Italian herb mix. Yeah, I think she kind of went overboard on that at the start. But, you know, scrapeable. All right, to the spaghetti carbonara video. By the way, this is the first video they ever uploaded. And they started off by showing the final dish. What the hell is that? And what is that?
So you're going to want to get your spaghetti and put it in the pan.
Get your spaghetti. Okay, good start. The noodles again. In a filthy pan.
And I know spaghetti carbonara is made of egg and cheese, so I'm going to get my egg and crack it in there.
You've got the rough ideas right, like a very basic understanding. I feel like this is what AI would come up with if you asked it to give you a carbonara recipe. Like knowing that there should be egg in there, that there are these kind of like things that look like noodles or spaghetti, and oh my goodness.
So we're going to chuck those in.
The bacon straight in the boiling water. This is so painful to watch. I'm worried about my video retention going down on this because I feel like at least 60% of all Italians watching this will have killed themselves by now. That's why it went great. It was the abundance of pepper and salt. How does she manage to consistently choose the worst form of ingredients every single time? This square plasticky cheese. Criminal.
I didn't have any cream, so I added a little bit of milk in there just to give it that creamy texture.
Oh dear. I shouldn't have watched this pregnant. I just spewed my guts up, thanks. Look at the colour of it.
I've made this for me and my boyfriend.
Oh, she's been saying this whole video it's not that bad, that it looks and tastes awful because it's just from me. And now she's just said her boyfriend's come home from work. Look at the state of all of it. The state of the pan at the start, the state of the hobs now, the state of the food. That is just mental. I think she's part of Kay's cooking family. Someone please show this to Gordon Ramsay. Can you imagine? I think his head would explode.
Oh, Jesus. That's disgusting.
I'd rather eat cow shit. I genuinely think you'd have a higher chance of surviving eating cow shit or any animal shit than you would eating this.
Hello everyone, Auntie Jackie here. Tonight I'm cooking fajitas, but I'm using hot dogs because that's what my husband prefers.
What's happened to her voice in the couple of days since these were posted?
Come and make homemade spaghetti carbonara with me.
Is that an AI voiceover and this is her real voice?
Hello everyone, Auntie Jackie here. Tonight I'm cooking
Why do you sound like Jake from the Tweenies? Oh my goodness, she actually does.
You're still upset, aren't you, Jake? A little bit.
How is it? It's 13 seconds in and it's already turned into this. It literally looks like what you'd expect to see if you open up a drain pipe and there was a blocked sewer.
And then I put in some salt. Look.
Some salt. I feel like there is an entire salt plain in Bolivia dedicated to this woman. The day this lady started learning to cook, Bolivia's GDP went up 10%.
And then I...
Am I losing my mind, or I'm genuinely starting to think that some of these will actually taste quite nice? I mean, that looks grim, but that is a wrap, sour cream, hot dogs. I mean, I forget about the ridiculous amount of seasoning on it. But other than that, is it just me or is this partly edible? Out of all the meals I've seen so far, this looks the most edible. I'm inclined to agree. If this video gets 1,000 likes, in a month, I'll come back and see where Aunt Jackie is now. And if she's not dead from either high blood pressure, food poisoning, or her husband killing her, I think there'll be some more appetizing dishes for us to see. I mean, I was going to say I'd recreate some of these, but I genuinely would not survive. That's a pancake with raw bacon, bananas. Not the end of the world? Okay, and then enough salt to kill a small family again. And a sprinkle of lemon juice. Or a pint of lemon juice. Alright, I'm sure you guys have seen it, but she has already done a face reveal, so I think it's about time we see what she looks like. This is a glow up post. So this was her before, and this was her now. She looks like Heather Trott from EastEnders. Someone's already said that. I think it was Heather Trott in the profile picture at first. That's gotta be the inspiration. I mean, this is AI, right? I thought it was Heather off EastEnders. Okay, right, well, I'm evidently very unoriginal. Crikey, people in the TikTok comment sections are brutal, and you wonder why you look like that with the food that you put into your body and all the salt and pepper, the bacteria from leftover food. Look at your skin. Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm not gonna throw stones in glass houses. I can't really comment on her skin, but I am almost certain this is AI generated. If it's not, I actually think she's got quite kind eyes. And of course, we get a husband reveal. This is the poor guy that is eating all of this food. By the way, in case you didn't know, they're both 30 years old. Their diet has just aged them horrifically. Looks like he could be your brother. They actually do. They have identical noses. Okay, that is a bit of lore I don't want to go into right now. As long as you two are happy, go easy with the salt that's bad for your heart. Thank you, I'll bear that in mind. Aunt Jackie is learning. Well, that is fortunately pretty much all Aunt Jackie has to show for us so far. So if you enjoyed today's video, please feel free to subscribe so you can catch part 2 and whatever other weird stuff we look at next. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye.